What's the best bicep move? If you said all of them, you need a little help in exercise selection. Let's combine science with experience to guide you on the ultimate quest for bigger arms. So what's the usual winner? The concentration curl, a staple in the bodybuilding regimen of golden era lifters like Arnold, Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno. But here's a catch. Try to meet a single bodybuilder who wholeheartedly agreed. Why the discrepancy? For one, experienced lifters know that while muscle activation matters, it isn't the only thing that matters. At some point, the amount of weight you can move counts too. Otherwise, exercises like leg extensions, which can have a higher AMG score for quads and squats, and leg press would dominate the leg workouts of champion bodybuilders. So be forewarned. There's a lot of info and a lot of personal judgment backing up this list of the best biceps move, but don't make it a definite list. The shoulder width curl engages the short and long heads of the biceps equally. You can really pile on the weight and you don't have to sit there endlessly working one arm at a time. How many more reasons do you need? If you're only going to do one bicep exercise, make it this one. But do it as many ways as you can. Wider grip can have more emphasis on the short head and narrow grip hits the long head. But be warned, a narrow grip reduces overall muscle activation by nearly 15%, so don't use this grip exclusively. The second rated bicep exercise in the ACE study and third in the both parents, this movement is a lot like the standing barbell curl at first glance. After all, they're both bilateral movements in which you take a shoulder width underhand grip on the bar. What makes it different is that the angle of loading comes from down and forward, giving you constant tension on the muscles through the full range of motion. Essentially, that means that you can't rest at the bottom or the top. Is this really any different than a barbell curl? That's up to you. Yes, you can just do a repetitive movement, but the real value of this exercise is that it can be done in a number of ways. Standing or seated on a vertical or inclined bench, with both hands or alternating sides, rotating wrists into Zoltman curl or keeping them face up, you have options. Here's the first multi-joint exercise on the list. As with any underhand grip back exercise, the biceps are heavily recruited. The problem with the bodyweight version is that if you're really very strong, you may be able to do 20-30 reps, so using added weight can push you back into muscle building 8 or 12 rep range. The ACE study runs the third, but that version was unweighted. It's another multi-joint movement in which you can go very heavy, and with the reverse grip, the biceps are heavily engaged. It's not really the kind of exercise you do on a bicep only day, but it's another one that makes a good bridge between back and biceps. Curls with a palm facing on neutral grip do more than just hit the biceps. They also heavily recruit the brachialis, a muscle that doesn't get measured on EMG studies because it's beneath the biceps. Increasing the growth of the brachialis can make your entire arm larger. With the cable you get the benefit of constant tension throughout the range of the motion, give it a slight edge over the dumbbell hammer curl. An exercise that emphasizes just one of the two biceps heads isn't going to score high on biceps EMG activation, and it didn't in the ICE study. But this one may theoretically hit the long head particularly well. The incline-bench curl elongates biceps and increases the stretch, creating an inefficient starting position for the muscle fibers. This means a greater amount of effort must be applied to the load to generate speed and initiate a contraction. Theoretically, the long head gets the benefit of the less efficient starting position, with greater muscle recruitment necessary than in other arm positions. There's the reason the concentration curve fares so well on muscle activation studies. The position of the torso has something to do with that, but likely so does the increased mind-muscle connection many people report experiencing. There is actually some emerging evidence surrounding the ability of the mind-muscle connection to garner greater increases in the hypertrophic training adaptations. There are many versions of the preacher curl: machine, bar, dumbbell, cable, one arm or two, standing or seated. You can even curl off the straight end of the bench, called a Scott curl after the first Mr. Olympia, Larry Scott. Regardless of which version you choose, you'll get a serious biceps pump. As with other movements that start from a stretch position, you get peak muscle activation and forces during the lower third of the concentric movement. As the wrist moves closer to the elbow joints and eventually past it, it becomes a more advantageous position for the muscle, meaning it doesn't have to work as hard. This is one reason the cable might be the best implement to use here. In contrast to strict barbell curls where you keep your elbows pinned at your sides, you'll actually pull them backwards, keeping the bar close to your torso as you bring it up. This reduces the range of the motion, so don't expect to take it very high. Because the bar moves vertically up and down, it can also be done on a Smith machine. Seriously, try it! So what do you think of the list? Got anything to add or change? Would you place them different in the list? Please share your opinion below, and as always, until I see you next time, please stay healthy.